Hey, it's Steve Loomis with Walking That Mile. So, unfortunately, Mary Moriarty, Hennepin County attorney, has said that she will not run again, but she is still the Hennepin County attorney. And so, every day we know disaster results are going to come out of that county attorney's office. So, the most recent thing, you maybe know that the Department of Justice is investigating because she told the people who work for the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to take race, specifically the black race, obviously, into consideration when making charging decisions, when offering plea deals, doing that sort of thing. She spelled it right out there that race is an issue that historically blacks are underprivileged and all of that, and so she now wants them specifically to take race into consideration when they're making charging decisions and offering plea deals. So now, it just came out yesterday, she wants to go away from pretextual stops, as what they describe them as, or what they call them as. So she is saying that she has created a policy that on October 15th will go into will go into effect, and it is, let me pull it up here for you. So here you go. Hennepin County to limit felony charges stemming from low-level traffic stops. Okay? She's a new policy addressing historically targeted black drivers. Here we go again. Same thing. Race. Always on a liberal's mind, right? Race is always on a liberal's mind. So, Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty will no longer prosecute most felony cases arising from low-level traffic stops, arguing that law enforcement in the state's most populous county has long disproportionately targeted minorities for violations like broken taillights or improper turns. It's the latest of several changes Moriarty has pushed forward in recent months, including a policy, here you go, to consider the racial identity of defendants in key prosecutorial decision points. That move is being investigated. So here we go. We'll get right to, she says that I guess not no matter what, but she says that based on what you stop somebody for is, even if you come up with a felony charge that you didn't stop them for initially, that they will likely throw that case out if that case is in Hennepin County. There is a list. Here it is. The infractions that she will not prosecute. So I'm not talking about prosecuting the actual infraction. Let's go through a few of them here. Failure to display tabs or driving with expired tabs. Okay, something like that. I'm not talking about she won't go through with those charges. We're talking about if somebody gets stopped for something like this, and then the officer notices a kilo of cocaine in the back seat, or finds, who knows? I guess a suspect in a major assault, or some other sort of. I can't even imagine what she's thinking right now, except that she's a liberal, so it's always race, and blacks are always being targeted, and we need to be as lenient on them as possible. And so now the infractions that they're considering, or that they won't charge. Now I think that there's a few exceptions as far as felonies that they will charge, but these are felonies. So we're not talking about gross misdemeanors or misdemeanors, or obviously they're going to throw all of those out. Likely they throw most of those out anyway. Let's be honest. Here are the infractions. They include failure to display tabs or driving with expired tabs, failure to illuminate a license plate light, failure to illuminate a license plate, so a license plate light out, or a partially obscured license plate, which people do all the time if they have stolen plates or if they are driving a stolen vehicle. Partially obscure the license plate or put some tape over it and then draw a number or a letter so that when you run it, it doesn't come back stolen. Broken headlights, broken lights, taillights, missing side mirror, rear view mirror, items dangling from the rear view mirror, we call it a suspended object, broken windshield wipers, failure to signal a turn or lane change while otherwise driving safely, cracked windshield, excessive window tint. In practice, this means if a police officer were to pull over a driver for one of those infractions and discover more serious criminal behavior like a gun, like illegal possession of a gun, or drug possession, that charge would not be pursued by the county attorney. Moriarty said there would be exceptions to the rule if a stop and search turned up evidence vital to public safety, but her hope is that law enforcement agencies would ultimately no longer bring these cases forward. Meaning, don't make those traffic stops, right? So now we're not even making those traffic stops. But you know what happens in law enforcement a lot of the time? When we're proactive, when we're making these simple stops, a stop for something simple like expired tabs, or a headlight out, or failure to use a turn signal. I've never written a citation for any of those things because I'm not looking for that. If you don't have a headlight, if you're missing a headlight, I'm stopping you because I can. First of all, make a traffic stop, engage with the driver, see if there's other criminal activity. Like, that's what we do. We then look for additional criminal activity. When I was a young cop, I arrested a ton of drunk drivers for simple things like that. Not wearing your seatbelt, window tint, lights, broken or not illuminating, not using your turn signals, not full stop at the stop sign. Basic speeds, all of a sudden, you've got a drunk driver, who could have gone down the road and run a kid on a bike over or something like that. That's where proactive law enforcement, that's where we get a lot. Jesus, what was Timothy McVeigh? He didn't fire a shot. He killed over 600 people. Okay? And my understanding is driving away from the scene, going down the highway, getting out of there. He didn't have a license plate. And he got stopped for that. And I don't think he got arrested immediately. They just were able to identify him then and then go and pick him up later. Now, the specifics of that case, I don't have them in front of me. But I know that it was a low-level traffic stop that identified Timothy McVeigh for law enforcement so that we could catch him. May never have caught him. But for good, proactive police work. So it's just incredible. It's incredible. It's infuriating to have her continue to do this. I've talked about Mary Moriarty a number of times in some other videos about just how terrible she is. And she realizes that she's terrible, or she realizes that everybody else thinks she's terrible, and so she's not even going to run again. But unfortunately, we still have to put up with her until somebody else takes her place. So, anyway, Mary Moriarty out of Minnesota, still doing Mary Moriarty stuff. Thanks. I'm Steve Loomis with Walking That Mile. Hey, if you get anything out of these videos, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. I would really appreciate that. That would help me out a lot. Thanks.